His soul. And welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're doing okay, Peaches. So this video is a game changer because I am telling you the 6 habits that I do where I lost weight, how I kept it off, and how I've managed to stay slim and lean and happy. So you better stick around, watch this video, and like and subscribe whilst you're here, and we will get into it. Disclaimer. In this video, I'm not going to be talking about things of like a de-bloat tea to maintain your weight off, or creatine, or some fancy supplement that I take to keep the weight off or to keep the lifestyle that I love. It's none of that. You will be surprised by the 6 habits, how simple they are, but also how effective they are. So stick around and watch this video. So I finished my diet when I lost body fat, and I was at eating around 1700 to 1800 calories at the end of my dieting phase. So from that point, I increased my calories. So a lot of people tend to just drift back into like old ways, old habits. They've been in a calorie deficit for about 6 months, 1 year, and then they kind of just go back to where they were before. However, I didn't do that. What I did is I increased my calories. I found a new maintenance calories, and then over the years I've been able to eat more through that. Now, some people call this reverse dieting, which yes, you can see it as reverse dieting, and you can take your calories slower as you go up so you don't regain that body weight super quickly. But for me, I just went from 1700 at the time, and then I reversed them up to 2000, and now I probably eat around, I don't track calories, but I probably eat around 2300, 2500 calories, roughly, if I'm putting a number on it. But that is what I did. So that was habit number 1. But with that being said, calories are important, but when you want to go into maintenance, you do need to bring them back up to be able to maintain your physique. So if you increase them up and then like keep going, then you'll be gaining weight because you'll be eating more than your body needs. So that is habit number 1. Next up is habit number 2, and this still relates to food. So when I was dieting, when I lost body fat, I was eating pretty much similar breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a dessert bowl because I have a sweet tooth. I was eating that pretty much similar, but just lower calories, so that fit within my 17 to 1800. But what I eat now is pretty much the same as what I ate then, but just more of it. So a lot of people, once they come out of that diet, they then go into eating really different meals to what they were eating when they were dieting. And that's what you don't want to do. So for example, I'll post a picture of my porridge bowl. Now, I had this porridge bowl back when I was dieting, and I now still eat this porridge bowl now. So I'll post a photo here. So that's the difference. Is this was probably around 35 grams of oats, and it had less Biscoff and it had less toppings on it, whereas the porridge bowl that I eat now is anywhere between 50 to 60 grams of oats, and I have more toppings on it. So the differences are, they are the same food, but the one that I eat at maintenance now is just more of it, but it's still pretty similar. Because when we come out of a diet and we go into like crazy trying different foods, going crazy, doing different things, that's when we revert back into like old ways and old habits, and then we regain that weight. So habit number 2 is sticking with similar foods that you ate when you were dieting, but where you're at now. And that doesn't mean me saying that you're a robot and you can't have the foods that you love and you have to stick to this regime of these foods. I am not saying that, because I'm all about balance, but you don't want to be going crazy different to what you were doing when you were dieting. And if you are dieting and you're eating stuff like boring, bland chicken, rice and veg and salad, then you're on the wrong diet. Just saying. Because a diet should be something that you can stick to long term, and then when you come out of it, you can just increase the portion size. Anyway, that's tip number 2. Number 3. Habit number 3 is step count. Now, when you go into, or step count and workouts, when you go into a diet and you go into a fat loss phase, your coach or whoever you work with may set you a step count and some exercise, and they may set you, for example, I'm not saying that everyone needs to hit this certain step count. You will have your own personalized step count and your own personalized workouts, but you will be set a target. So for example, let's say mine, when I was dieting, and mine was around 10,000 to 12,000, let's say. That's what I was set. To this day, I still hit 10,000 steps. Sometimes more, depending if I go for a run or whatever, but that is my non-negotiable, that I still do, because not just for how my body looks, but for how it helps my mindset. Going for a walk each day, digesting my food as I go for a walk. So I still get those steps in. A lot of people, when they are at the end of their fat loss journey, they're hitting their step count, they're hitting their targets, they're hitting their workouts, but then they come out of it and then they stop doing their steps. They stop hitting their workouts. They stop eating like nutritious foods, and they just scrap it off and just go back to where they were before. But you've built those habits, so to maintain it, you have to maintain the physique, you have to maintain doing the habits. So that is habit number 3, is I still get my steps in. I still go for my walks. I still get my fresh air, not just for my body, but for my whole attitude around life. So yeah, that is number 3. Number 4. Sorry, I moved you back a little bit. I felt like I was very close to the camera and it's a bit too much, so we've taken a little bit of a step back. But number 4 is the number 4 is the 2-day rule. And you're thinking, 2-day rule? What? So the 2-day rule means, so you have your workouts, you have your steps, you have things like the food that you eat. And I am all for being human, and some days you will miss a workout, some days you will miss your walk and you're getting your steps in, some days you will overindulge on foods, but don't let it happen more than 2 days in a row, because then that's when you'll start drifting back into old ways, old habits. So if I have a day, for example, that I do overindulge and I miss a workout and I miss getting my steps in, say I do that all in one day, I will make sure that when I wake up the next day that I won't be doing that again. I've had that moment of breaking out of that, but that 2-day rule is I just go back to those habits the day after, because that's when we start falling back into old patterns and old habits, because we are allowing ourselves to be more lenient with ourselves and drifting and drifting and drifting. And once you do it one day, you'll then start to do it the second day, the third day, the fourth day, the fifth day, and then it is going to be so hard to go back to where you were before, because you've been so lenient with yourself that you've allowed yourself to just completely hit the screw it button and just drift out of all of the habits that you've built. So my fourth habit is the 2-day rule. So build that up and like give yourself, yes, there'll be times where you go on holiday, or there'll be times where you're sick and you're poorly in bed, but like they're different occasions. But the days that you can't be bothered and you've not done them, don't let that become a pattern aside from the out of the 2-day rule. So yeah, that is number 4. Number 5 is goals. So I think, and this is all my personal opinion, by the way, you can take it in as you wish, but it's what I believe has worked for me and works for my clients, so it works. But yeah, number 5 is actually your goals. So when people come out of a dieting phase, they've had like this goal in their mind of like, I want to lose 5 kilos, and that's my goal. And then people get to that and then they're like, oh, what do I do now? and then they've got nothing to work towards. They have no idea how to maintain it, and they're all a bit confused. So it's actually setting yourself goals once you've lost the weight. So I'm not saying that you need to lose 5 kilos and then be like, oh, now I want to run a marathon. Like, I'm not saying anything crazy like that, but you lose the weight and say to yourself, right, I've lost the 5 kilos. Now my goal is to get stronger. So I want to hit a 40 kilo barbell back squat in the gym, and a 60 kilo deadlift in the gym, for example. It then gives you something to work towards once you've lost the weight. And that's exactly what I did on my journey. So as you can see, I lost the weight at this point, but then these are the things that I've done. So I ended up doing, I got into a little bit of running, and I ran a half marathon. I got into high rocks and I started training for my high rockses. I've worked on my squats and my deadlifts in the gym, or my pull-ups, and I've had things that I've been able to work towards, and this has enabled me to maintain my physique, but also my happiness with exercise and my enjoyment of going to the gym and my enjoyment of fueling myself correctly, because I've had something to work towards. You think when you're working towards fitting back into an old pair of jeans or your Christmas party dress, the motivation that you've got to do that is 10 times more when you've got something booked in that you're working towards. So my 5th habit is having something in the diary to work towards, having a goal to work towards after you've lost the weight that you're looking to lose. So yes, with that being said, I will just let you know that my next goal is, I've got Paris High Rocks in a couple of weeks, then I've got another High Rocks a couple of weeks after that, and then next year I'm running the London Marathon, and I've never run that far in my life. I'm so nervous, but it gives me something to train and work towards. So that is number 5. And last but not least, we have the big number 6. Number 6 is enjoy the process. Becoming is better than being. I don't know who made that quote, but it's an unbelievable quote, because when you enjoy everything that you do in your diet, you enjoy your walks, you enjoy your workouts, you enjoy the foods you eat, you enjoy still going for meals out when you were dieting, that will become part of your lifestyle to the point where you still continue to do it. Yes, there'll be days where you don't, but majority of the time you enjoy the process. When you start enjoying your process now, when you were dieting currently, when you were exercising, when you were walking, when you were still going out for your meals out, when you enjoy all of that, it will transfer into being able to maintain that, because you've built a life that you love. So 4 years later, I've actually enjoyed every single bit. Yes, some days I'm not motivated to go to the gym, and some days I eat a pizza or overindulge, but that's okay, because majority of the time I enjoy what I am doing. So that is my 6th habit. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the process now in your dieting phase, and it will feel 10 times easier when you come out of that to be able to maintain that physique, that lifestyle, and that happiness and that mindset that you've got. So yes, that is number 6. So I hope you found that helpful. And there we have it. They are my 6 habits to stay slim, to stay lean, to stay happy, from someone that's gone from a dieting phase into being able to maintain for the last 4 to 5 years. So if you found this video useful, please like and subscribe. I'm also going to pop my calorie calculator below, or my Instagram handle, so you can drop me a follow. That's where I post more fitness and fat loss tips. But for now, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.